Hello YouTube, this is Chris from External Services. Today's video is going to be yet again more NASA lies and weather balloons and satellites and so on. I would really love to do other videos other than this stuff. I feel you, man, it's a horror. He's got the same problem with planes. He likes to he he wants to talk about other things and different topics. And he does here and there, just like I do on my channel, but he's gotten roped into that bizarre, crazy, paranormal, demonic, MK Ultra, all kinds of stuff, different things happening on planes. Go check his channel out. Let him know I sent you. But yeah, this is not a shout out video. I just saying I know your pain. Anyway, so today's video started out as going to be a little article that I got recommended about NASA and another balloon. Go figure. Uh, we'll get to the article in a minute. Uh, on a so-called another planet, but I want to address this first. This is just more proof to me that people don't do their research. They don't do their homework. It's either that, or they're so brainwashed that even when the people get told the truth, they just they're so blinded by the lies that they don't want to see it, which the Bible warns that people will have their hearts so hardened they will literally turn away from their faith because of lies. Um, or this guy is a government shield. I'm assuming is a guy. Um, he's commented on a few of my flat Earth videos, but look at his comment. So balloons cross the sky faster than any aircraft we can see on a perfectly timed schedule. Wow, those are some special balloons. Um, Never once did I mention the balloons going faster in my last video because that's what this comment is on. I never did mention they go faster than airplanes. I'm assuming he's meaning that they can, and they even said themselves, but I made a reference in the video or comment that they can maneuver the balloons wherever they want them. Um, Either like a drone or uh, by weather control modification, they using HARP and chemtrails to making control weather to be able to make these balloons go where they want. And what I didn't mention in yesterday's video is they can be very easily using these balloons, not just for um, satellites, but also for um, MK Ultra, mind control, Blue Beam Project, which I stated yesterday as well, with the fake second coming of God's Son Jesus, or a fake alien invasion. Um, and there's so much you can do with having balloons, like weather balloons and stuff like that, in our sky. Okay, under the dome, instead of being outside of space, outside of a ball Earth, trying to get that stuff to come back in through the atmosphere that in the Van Allen belts and all that. Okay, it would just make a lot more sense. And if you know signals and stuff like that, trying to put one signal through another signal, they mix and they can, I've made this reference before, is they can cause all kinds of problems and bugs and everything else. But if you got a straight shot, say a weather balloon under a dome, um, it'll be a lot easier to get to communicate back and forth with signals. And not all signals are coming from so-called satellites. Okay, they're coming. You got underground communications, which we've always had. They never got rid of that. So anyway, let's continue on here because I'm just going to keep rambling if I don't, because there's so much I can touch on this topic. So anyway, so he's making a statement here that because these balloons don't get seen, by these pilots, like conventional aircraft, personal aircraft, um, different things of that nature, passenger planes, whatever, that what I'm saying and what they're literally telling you in my last video that I put out, even that they've got these balloons, these weather balloons, or these special balloons, that they're flying in our atmosphere, that they're flying under our dome, that's got all kinds of satellites and different things on them. Okay, they said it themselves. So I always get told I don't know science, I don't know math, I don't know um, airplanes, I don't know how this works and that works, and blah 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 blah. Well, apparently neither do you, and I mean that with all due respect, and I'm not trying to be, an ass about it. Pardon my language, but if you just did a simple Google search, you wouldn't even have made this comment. Okay? How high can an airplane fly? So you don't have to fly faster, you just have to fly higher. And that's just common sense. Just like the saying is, you don't have to be faster than the enemy, say like a zombie apocalypse, you just have to be faster than the person that's next to you. Because then, I know it's a messed up saying, but that's an actual saying. It's been around for a long time. So if you're faster than the person next to you, that person becomes bait. That person, that zombie attacks, you get away because they're attacking the person next to you. I didn't say I agree with it. Just that's a saying that's been around forever. It's the same thing. Out of sight, out of mind. If those balloons are flying higher than the aircraft doesn't see it. It doesn't know it's there. Okay. And don't say, oh, radar this, radar that. Well, if the radar is only designed to pick up certain material, and then they don't use that material to build said aircraft or said balloon or satellite, that um, that radar is not going to pick it up. So again, if your instruments can't see it and you physically can't see it with your eyes, you don't know what's there. Okay, so how high can an airplane fly? The maximum height of a commercial airplane is allowed to reach when they fly is 42,000 feet, as this is the universally approved maximum altitude. This max altitude for airplanes is known as the service excuse me, service ceiling. Most commercial air jets, uh, such as a high altitude, because it is known to optimize efficiency. Okay, 42,000 feet. That's how high an airplane can fly. How high can a weather balloon go? Now, this is not the special balloons, quote unquote, that they were talking about that I mentioned in yesterday's video, and I showed you out of their own mouth what they said. How high can a weather balloon go? While no one can ever guarantee a weather balloon will soar to a specific height, the balloon typically reaches between 60,000 to 105,000 feet. However, the highest recorded weather balloon flight on record was launched in 2002 and soared to an incredible altitude of 173,000 feet. Okay, so just go off the basic, uh, the highest basic, not the incredible record. Okay, so if you take 42,000 feet, or 105,000 feet, I'm sorry, and minus 42,000 feet, you get 63,000 feet difference. That's a lot of sky in between a airplane and their weather balloons and these balloons that NASA's talking about and everything, that they've got all these things that they've got in the sky, not just satellites. They got stuff for audio, they've got stuff for visual, which is all part of the Blue Beam project, and MK Ultra, and so on and so on. Okay, you got 63,000 feet that's different between one object and another object. You can't see 63,000 feet, bud, or anybody watching this video. You cannot see 63,000 feet with your naked eye. So if you can't see it with your own naked eye, and your equipment isn't designed to pick up said material, or you're told that that's part of our military this and military that, because they could say say it's a satellite. They can say it's anything. They can say, oh, that's part of our surveillance program for this, this, and this, and this operation, whatever. And that military person's not going to think nothing of it. They're going to think that's part of our toys, our equipment, our tools. They're not going to say nothing about it. And even if they think anything different, they're told to shut up. They shut up. They follow orders, even if they don't like it. They can verbally say, we don't like this, or I don't like the way this is said or done. But if they're given an order by a commander, by a higher up, they have to follow that, unless they want to become a whistleblower. And I'm not talking crap about our military or our soldiers or anything else like that. Anybody that knows me knows that I love our country. I love our soldiers and nothing but respect and love. And but it's I'm trying to prove a point here. And anybody that's been in the military, I know people that's in the military, friends, family, and otherwise, and they've all told me the same thing, that they've had to say things and do things they didn't agree with because it was an order. They verbally said they didn't agree with it, but they said or did it anyway because it was an order from a higher up. So I'm just giving you all sides of the field here. It's not talking crap about our military and our soldiers or anything else like that. Okay? Clear that up right now. So, but there are two planes that aren't civilian that can go almost to the max of a weather balloon. Okay? One is called the U-2 spy plane. Most people know what this is, and it's a Air Force plane, but it has a NASA symbol on it. Let that one sink in. Okay? And look at the material it's made out of. A U-2 spy plane can go 70,000 feet. Okay? Well, what was the max that a regular plane can go? 42,000. Okay? Weather balloon, 105,000. The lowest it goes is about 60,000. Well, that's off the ground. It can go between 60,000 to 105,000. Okay? So then you got the U-2 that's 70,000. Okay? So it's 10,000 more higher than the base minimum of a weather balloon. Okay? How high can a U-2 aircraft fly? The U-2 aircraft built of aluminum, so like a tin can, and you're telling me this can go in space? Okay. Uh, Limited to subsonic flight, can cruise for many hours above 70,000 feet with a payload weighing 3,000 pounds. Its exact operational specifications are secret. Um, and then you got this article here. It says 80,000 feet. What makes the U-2 altitude plane so interesting at this height? At this height, is that it perhaps more than any other aircraft flying so very high, so very much so in what is known as the coffin corner. Okay. Then you type in U-2 spy plane NASA, because like I said, there used to be emblems. You can find pictures of it with the NASA symbol on it. And you've got the ER-2 high altitude airborne science aircraft that can go between. Let's see here. The ER-2 is a versatile aircraft well suited to perform multiple mission tasks. The ER-2 operates at altitude between 20,000 feet and 70,000 feet. So the only two airplanes that I know of are both military, and I'm considering NASA military. I've just seen way too much. They're emblems on military aircraft, uh, Air Force aircraft rather, and documents. that ties NASA in with, with CIA.gov documents that tie NASA in with the CIA and the Air Force and DOJ, uh, and DOD and all kinds of things, which are videos that I'm trying to get made and get up. But anyway, so the only two aircrafts that can get as high as the max of a weather balloon, which as you see there, that's as far as they can go. That's the dome. But the only two airplanes that can match these heights aren't civilian. They're military. So like I stated at the beginning of the video, even if they, if they were told, even if they weren't told, okay, you got to first see something to be told to shut up about it. So if your equipment isn't set up to read said materials and said objects, look at it this way. Why do you think you get a lot of these, which is another topic I need to make a video on more again, is UFOs are aliens. Okay, they're demonic. Long story short. But why do you think that, the, say, a commercial pilot or even an Air Force pilot or whatever would be like, hey, I'm seeing this with my eyes. It looks like this. Do you see anything on your radar? Because I'm not seeing anything on mine. I'm talking about UFOs. And, air control says, no, we don't see anything on our radar. Because the radar isn't designed to pick up that said material or that said object, whatever that object's made out of. So if you can't physically see it with your own eyes and your equipment's not picking it up, you can go as slow as a turtle. And nobody would know it was there. Okay? The Lockheed U-2, the Lockheed U-2 nicknamed Dragon Lady, is an American single-engine high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft operated from the 1950s by the United States. Okay? So you look up U-2 spy plane balloons, and this is when the Chinese spy balloon was being flown over and nobody knew what it was and they thought it could be UFOs. They thought this and that. But look at those are satellites. Why are they using a spy balloon with what appears to be a satellite to do reconnaissance and spy on America if they have the technology to have satellites in, as NASA says satellites are, and then where NASA says they are, in so-called space on the outside of a ball Earth? Why would they make it visible at all, being on a balloon, if they had any other technology? And you can't say, well, China doesn't have that kind of, no. According to NASA and all other space agencies and all other governments, all governments supposedly have satellites flying in our sky. That's how they have cell phones in, say, China or wherever, Russia or what have you. They have same thing we have: internet, cell phones, whatever. Okay, all supposedly ran off satellites. So why would they go through all that trouble and take a chance of being seen flying a satellite above Earth like that, unless that's the highest they can go? Unless these satellites can't fly without assistance of, say, weather balloons. Let that sink in, people. Okay, so this is the initial reason I was going to make this video today. If I saw that comment, this is NASA. It says simple return from the surface of Venus, and I'll show you a picture of that blown up. But that is a balloon, like a weather balloon. This is supposed to be an artist rendition, a depiction of a sample returned from the surface of Venus. Okay, and I'll get to the description in a minute. But we have what looks like a balloon. That would be like a little satellite on it. And this is a looks like a very flimsy paper airplane with um, solar panels on it, with one little propeller. Okay, with all the technology we supposedly have, and with what NASA shows, which I've shown a lot of it looks just like this garbage, um, that we are supposedly using to go to Mars and do these uh, expeditions and taking pictures in Mars and soil samples and this and so on. But we can't go back to the moon. Come on. Anyway, this is the best that they got now. First it was a helicopter, the little drone, and now it's a balloon with what looks like a satellite on it. Graphic depiction of a sample returned from the surface of Venus by uh, Jeffrey Lindis. Jeffrey Lindis, NASA Glenn Research Center, at 450 degrees Celsius and 92 degrees atmosphere pressure, the surface of Venus is the most hostile environment to explore the solar system. This project will pioneer a new approach to return a sample from the surface of Venus. The approach will merge an innovative carbon monoxide rocket technology to make a propellant from the Venus atmosphere and can talk innovation in high temperature surface system solar aircraft. So back to that comment. You're telling me the so-called special balloons, as you put it, you're telling me they got these balloon technology, which I don't believe in other planets anyway anymore, and I don't believe we're going to any other planets because they don't exist, and you can't get off of Earth because of the firmament, the dome, whatever you want to call it. But say you believe in NASA and what they tell you and everything. Apparently you do because you keep defending them in my comments. When you do make comments, or anybody else that's making comments defending NASA, you're telling me that they got these toys that literally look like toys. One of them looks like a balloon on the most harshest environments. It says is the most hostile environment to explore in the solar system. That we have the technology to do this, but we don't have the technology to have satellites floating on balloons in our atmosphere and not being visible unless you know they're there. And yeah, just yeah. So this is a blown up picture. I screenshot it, blew it up, sent it to myself on Twitter. I hate to tell you, that's a balloon. And then there's the strings, like you would have something attached to a balloon, and then that looks like some kind of satellite device of some kind. I know it's supposed to be like a measuring the atmosphere of Venus, but that looks like something like a satellite. But come on, guys, think about this. I mean, this is just beyond nuts. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I think I've proven my point in my case yet again. Um, NASA's a liar. NASA's fake. NASA works for the devil. NASA works for uh, also the United States government and the military, um, which is more videos I got coming up as well, proving that they're not what they say they are. They're trying to hide a biblical flat Earth, and they also got their hands in the cookie jar, just like the devil does. He's got his hands in multiple cookie jars. What does the devil like? The devil likes war, so of course he's going to have his hand in the military side. Um, but yeah, wake up, guys. This is clearly, and I'm sure I'm going to get people are going to try to explain this away in the comments, and it's, support NASA and back NASA, no matter what anybody else says, no matter how much evidence and proof you have, people are still going to try to support and back NASA and have their hearts hardened, like the Bible says, and they're not going to want to hear sound doctrine. They're not going to want to hear the truth They're just going to continue listening to the lies because the devil has them brainwashed and and everything, um, and misguided. I can't believe that people swallow this lie um, as facts. I really can't. I can't believe I used to once believe this stuff. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. Use all the links to About Me section. Rate, comment, subscribe. Much love. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.